Hey everyone, this is Josh from Before, and I'm here with the clown from McFarlane Toys' new Spawn line. And this is really exciting to be holding a brand. When was the last time we got a new clown figure? I couldn't tell you offhand, but it's been a long time, and this is really cool. Just gonna quickly show you around the box, which has got some nice photos of the toy. This great artwork that looks really sharp. It's a very clean and modern looking packaging. Personally, would have liked to see some throwbacks to that classic blister art from back in the day, because I'm really partial to that. But that's all right. They look, the boxes look good, and they look so good, and this whole thing looks so good that it makes me think. I think it's time for McFarlane to start crediting their sculptors and painters and graphic designers and toy photographers on these releases. You know what I mean? This is such a big, like, it looks very classy. They obviously want it to look like it's, a premium packaged item. So go the extra mile and do give your artists credit. This is, McFarlane and Image. Those are supposed to be companies that celebrate artists. Why don't you give these guys the credit? So this is a pretty nice setup here. He's got two extra hands, he's got two bladed accessories, and he's got this big backpack with all these mounted gun turrets that are very similar to the classic Clown 2 figure from back in the day. Which was that kind of based? Was that based on a cover? I don't remember. Whatever. All right, so here he is, and right away, it just feels great in hand. He's got a lot of these soft rubber pieces, which is not just his jacket and his sort of bandoliers here, but like the edges of his jacket sleeves, his obviously his pelvis and his belt are soft material, but even then his legs, they're not soft, but they feel like that kind of hybrid, that softer plastic that was, if you mess with that King's Shark at all, if you felt him, he's got that softer feel. But it just kind of it feels very premium. It feels really nice in hand. It just doesn't feel like a cheap, hollow sort of piece of crap. He's got this big socket in the back for his gun backpack. But I just love the way they do like this leather texture where it's like more worn in some spots, and then it's deeper in other spots. Looks really great. Just great detail, great textures throughout. Nice looking paint. It's not quite the this isn't, the grimy, slimy clown from back in the, the 90s, like when the Spawn first started coming out. I don't know if he's trying to like sanitize it or make it a little more palatable. That seems weird because like Spawn's been mega popular as soon as it came out, so making it more palatable for a larger audience doesn't make sense because it's a really pretty popular franchise. But I don't know if with this whole Spawn universe thing, if he's trying to like Disneyfy it or just make it more in line with current modern superhero type comics. It seems what he's trying to do. I think that's his next phase, which right on for not repeating himself or doing the same thing over and over again. I don't think that like edgy edgelord stuff, it's quite the same thing today as it was in the 90s. I think it's a little more, I don't know, just less interesting and kind of tired. So if you try to just maintain the same tone, I'm just going to start moving this head around. Oh, wow, that's really satisfying. Head movement. Oh, that's awesome. Love the way that moves. It's just kind of rounded articulation in his neck that goes into his shoulders here. Love this face sculpt and the paint. He's got like really nasty pockmarked skin and these little gross little filed down teeth, this big mouth that looks, oh man, that looks fantastic. Although I guess the parts that aren't that don't have like his face paint on it, the paint's a little lacking, you know what I mean? It just this could use a wash maybe just to bring out the, you know, his terrible complexion. Love his little hair tendrils kind of swooping around, but give him all the clearance to get that head articulation. That's really fun. Great, great. Shoulders with the butterfly here. I just, this is what I love about the butterfly, is being able to give him slight adjustments to his body language like that. If you haven't really been messing with like the that multiverse line, if you haven't really, or even like what's the other, like Mortal Kombat, if you haven't really messed with those at all and you kind of been missing out maybe on what McFarlane's been doing lately, their figures feel fantastic in hand, and the fun factor is usually really strong with just the way they do execute the articulation. It's not, you know, it's not Marvel Legends, but it feels a lot better, frankly. Lots of, they didn't repeat the mistake of like the King Shark or the Bane. They've got a lot of movement in his legs here, but there is a bit of some gappage there. But it still looks, again, it looks better than Marvel Legend, honestly. Not much in the way of rotation though on his legs. Pretty nice single knee. He really does have the physique of Danny DeVito. I don't know if I didn't mention these. He's got these single elbows that also rotate, which I think work a lot better in these bigger, unusually shaped, or I guess maybe not unusually shaped, uncommonly shaped. I don't want to body shame clown. And he's got these wonderful boots with the toe articulation. These are on, do they have swivel? They do, yeah, they swivel. Really nice. And, you know, and this, like, playing with these ankles and these wrists here, he's got these boils and warts all over his arms that look really great, and this nasty arm hair. That's a little, playing with these wrists and these ankles, it just really makes me, it just highlights the fact that, like, part of why these uncommonly sized and shaped characters end up turning out so well, and this is across every line. Marvel Legends, Black Series, like the Ewoks were really fun to play with, and it's because each articulation point is designed for this figure, this character alone. They're not just ball joints that they put on every single person's wrist. They actually just belong only to this, and that's part of why they end up being so fun. So it just, they reuse, you know, toy manufacturers, they reuse pieces and parts a lot. It's part of the game, but when they do a totally bespoke sculpt and tool the articulation for that specific sculpt only, it's just more fun to play with. Moving on to accessories, because he has quite a few of them. He's got this straight razor, which has got some nice details on it. It's a shame that the paint doesn't bring out these little skulls on his on the handle of the thing here, because that looks really nice. And just a combat knife that again has skull details and nice looking grip on the handle. And then he's got two extra hands, but he's got two extra hands. So one of them is a left fist, and then this, I think they gave me the wrong extra hand, because this is the exact same thing. That's womp womp. Look at that. They gave me the wrong hand. The hands pop off very easily and pop on there like so. The one thing about the hands is the paint match. They didn't hit these hands with any of the arm hair, which makes that blend look a little ugly. So yeah, that fist looks kind of dumb, the way it's blended that poorly. And getting these accessories in the hands is a bit of a pain in the ass because they're a bit rigid and then they pop off the wrists like way too easily. So I'm just trying to freaking get this stupid thing in here. Come on. But they look pretty damn cool once you get them in there. That's really nice. Creepy dude. All right, now his big, huge, I should say, not big. This thing's massive. This gun backpack is wild. It's got these 3 rockets on top. Let's see what are we dealing with here. He's got this wired remote that comes out of the bottom that rotates on here, and this is soft and flexible and looks very cool. These the arms on this are very rigid. Whoa. Yeah, the arms on this thing are extremely rigid, which is probably good because they're very heavy and the arms are small. You should hear that. The arms are kind of tiny, so hopefully they'll hold up to the weight over time. Very rigid. In fact, just be careful when you're moving these around because these balls joints can separate, you know, sometimes if you put too much stress on them. Wow, there's a surprising amount of articulation because this actually rotates separate of the ball, but then that ball rotates on there as well. I see what I'm saying about stressing that joint out. Because these things are freaking heavy. This thing's a little bent right there. That's annoying. I like how they use this soft rubbery material sometimes, and then sometimes they choose to put it in weird places. And this stuff has unusual give. And again, this pegs into the back like so. Okay, I was a little skeptical about this insanely oversized gun backpack thing until I got it on here, and it's just really, really cool, and it's really impressive, and it's outlandishly silly, but fun. It's just got these kind of crazy spider arms, and they have way more range and sort of possibility than you might think. It's pretty impressive, honestly. I just really want to take a minute to look at these guns. Just absurd. Huge drums on top. Tons of different turrets and rockets. Really disappointed about this being bent, but hopefully we'll be able to get that back to the right shape. Maybe some warm water. I just love all these compressors and tubes and hydraulic arms. Really fantastic detail. So obviously this backpack thing is going to make him top heavy and back heavy kind of, but the figure just really has a great build and a really low center of gravity, and you know, even I don't have him on a stand or anything, obviously, and he holds these just right. So it's a great execution. Oh, there you go. See. So it's a great execution on a really outlandish idea, and I think it's pretty fun. But it's got to be the giant gun backpack thing. It's got to be my least favorite aspect of this. Kind of the most unnecessary thing, you know, especially because this is a $40 figure, and I kind of just could have done without. I love the reference to the classic Clown 2 figure, but the inclusion of this pushed it from probably a normal cost to the $40 Megafig package. And I mean, does anybody want to make the bet right now that down the line they'll just release this clown by himself without the gun backpack for 25 bucks. I don't think anybody's going to make that bet because they know that it's going to happen, which is fine. That's part of it. But, you know, that's just kind of a note to people who are concerned about maybe the value. For me, it is worth 40 bucks. I'm totally pleased with this, but you're on the fence about it. You know, the price tag, I could see that being a big turnoff, and you wouldn't be wrong. Here he is next to the new Gunslinger spawn and the recent Mortal Kombat spawn. Here he is next to Kickstarter spawn and Spawn 3 from back in the day. He's huge. I mean, you can see how big these guns make him, but even without the guns, his head's coming up to the top of Spawn's chest. Here he is with the Marvel Legend Build-A-Fig Mr. Hyde and Bane Build-A-Fig from the Last Night on Earth wave. So that's Clown. Tons of fun. The biggest deterrent, maybe if you're on the fence, is that price point and the fact that, you know, these guns are, while they're really cool, don't necessarily feel fully tied to the character, you know, in a way that totally justifies the $40 price tag. But that's, you know, that's looking at it from a cynical point of view. I think this is really fun and totally worth getting if you're a Spawn fan at all. You know, maybe you're on the fence about the art style and then the paint applications, which, you know, especially if you're coming from like back in the day when the stuff used to look like this, you know, this looks a little more plain. It's got less paint on it. But that's kind of the world we live in, unfortunately. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one. Bye.